Hello there, my name is Vlad and this is my second month progress video with the XpressPads finger drumming technique. I'm doing a series of videos. I'll be uploading one video every month so that you can see what my progress looks like over time. If you haven't seen the first video, there will be a link in the description box below and maybe one in the card here, I think. In this video I will talk a little bit about the XpressPads technique and describe it, but first a quick update on my progress level. I've been practicing for about 2 months now, and in this second month I've increased the practice time a little bit. I've been at least practicing for 1 hour every day, sometimes a little bit more, and I have not completely mastered the beginner section of the course, but I have gone through the intermediate part a little bit too. So I've noticed that if I come back to some exercises in the basic section, like later on when I'm already in the intermediate part, I can still improve on them, and I can still get the fun from the intermediate section as well. So it seems to work as well, just coming back and working on the stuff that I'm not completely rock solid on. Okay, so the XpressPads technique. This is for this next part is for the people who do not own the course, of course. So if you own the course, you'll know everything I'm talking about. The course is very detailed, so I'll just give a few points, a few sections of information from it so that you can get an idea of what it's like, what it's about. So the pad layout for this course is split in the middle. Okay, so there's 8 pads on the left and they are mirrored on the right. So there's a kick drum here. It's the same thing here. There's a closed hi-hat here. Same one here. Snare here. Snare here. You get the idea. Open hi-hat, low tom, high tom, crash cymbal, ride cymbal. There's some very strict rules about playing with this technique, and I'll go through some of them. They will be sometimes broken, these rules, in the course, but just with very few exceptions. So with 99% of the time you will be playing all of the pads on this column using this middle finger, all of the pads from this column using this finger, all of these pads using this finger, and all of these using this one. Later on in the course, the thumbs are also introduced, so the thumbs can play, this right thumb can play these 4 pads, and this one, these 4 pads. On very few occasions, you can use other fingers for those vertical columns that I described. So for instance, in the beginning of the video there was a section in my playing where I did this. Okay, so normally this index finger should be playing this column, but I needed to be playing the bass drum, snare drum, and the tom at the same time. So that is one time where it just makes a lot more sense to do all 3 like this instead of having to do like this, just to follow this rule. Okay, so there are other kinds of exceptions to these rules, but I won't go into them right now. They're for the more advanced sections of the course. Okay, so almost everything with this technique is played by alternating your hands. You're not playing 2 snare hits on the same pad like other techniques used. So every time you have to do rolls like this, you do them by alternating hands. And also when you play the the grooves, the regular grooves, you always alternate your hands, and this is based on the time signature. So for instance, by playing a simple groove like this, you see it's alternating your hands. It's imitating the natural playing with the sticks of a regular drummer. So it's always alternating your hands, like back and forth, left right, with few exceptions. Okay, so I think this makes a lot of sense on a pad controller, and for me it feels very, I don't know, I can't find the word. It feels organic, it feels integrated, it feels like I can get to know this pad controller like really intimately using, I know that sounds a bit silly, but using this alternating hands motion and only using one finger per pad, so not doing rolls on one pad, just it feels after a while of playing. So for instance, after 1 hour playing, this feels like a part of my body. It's just that that intimate relationship with it. Okay, so what's the course like? If you're wondering, what does it actually teach you? Well, it really starts with the very basic of stuff, like doing the very basic groove like this. This is the easiest one of all, and then you just by doing the exercises provided in the course, you just advance slowly and get to more difficult stuff as you go along, but it's always just with baby steps. So for instance, from this basic groove, the next big step is adding another bass drum here. So it's, sorry. So up to this moment, you're only using one pad at a time. Later on, you can make it a bit harder by hitting two pads at the same time. So it goes like this. Then it just naturally progresses to more advanced stuff, like playing faster, like double the time. So or integrating the other pieces of the drum set, like the toms. So or bass drum and the crash, or doing some other types of grooves, like okay. So the point I'm trying to make is that the progress feels very relaxed. So within and very easy. Okay, so within a few hours, I could, in my first day, I remember I could play this thing. So it took a little bit for my brain to process it, because I've never played actual drums, so I don't have coordinating my hands with the pads and keeping it straight and really getting it to sound even was a bit of a struggle in the beginning. But then after a few days, I think I could play this. And other types of grooves like this. This is the 8th note grooves, so there's variation on this, but I could play most of these after a few days. And yeah, it's really satisfying. It's like every practice session. So if you practice like me every day, within every practice session there's progress. Even now, after 2 months, I can still you know, I've been practicing that solo in the beginning. I've been practicing for a while now, and every evening I get a little bit better at it. So something just feels more even. Some of the more difficult parts feel a little bit more even. Some of the more the finger positions on the pads that are more difficult, which is for instance this tom groove. So I have to stretch this finger like this, which was a little bit hard for me in the beginning, but every day it feels a little bit easier. So a lot of satisfaction for me here. Okay, so I think this is it for this second video. I hope you found it useful and maybe interesting. So I think I'll see you in the next video. All right.